celebrations International Day of Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Yes, drug is quite a common term. It is common and it is safe when it is being prescribed by a doctor and when it is taken in the correct doses. But we happen to see in our society that the use of drugs has become very common among youngsters. The reason could be within their family, within the society, and also within their peer groups. The use of drugs actually affects a person physically as well as mentally. The proper development of a child is very much important to help the child lead a normal life. When they get distracted, when some kind of negative feeling happens to enter into their mind by the action of antisocial elements of the society, they automatically happens to become addicted to such kinds of evils. Drug abuse is a menace. It should be washed off. We must all work hard to come out of it, to help our children, to help the youngsters to come out of this menace. One small step is much better than 1,000 planned steps. So, this day, let us teach our youngsters to say no to drugs. Just as Napoleon Bonaparte said, courage isn't the strength to go on. It is the strength to go on when we don't have the strength. So even if we are at the lowest levels of our discouragement, we can still move on only if we take actionable steps to achieve our goal. Thank you.
Good morning, my beloved teachers and friends. Today is June 26, Anti-Drug Day. This day is celebrated every year with unique theme. Share facts on drugs, save lives is the theme for this day in the year 2021. This day motivates people to leave drugs free. Stay away from the drugs as it affects our mental and physical health. Drug is a poison that kills our ambition and life. Don't fall into this death trap. You will never succeed with drugs and you have better things to do. So let's develop our lives, our communities, our identities without drugs. Reminding that life does not rewind. Say no to drugs.
കൂട്ടുകാരെ, ഇന്നത്തെ ദിവസത്തിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താണെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാമല്ലോ. ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭ ജൂൺ 26 ആഗോള ലഹരിവിരുദ്ധ ദിനമായിട്ടാണ് ആചരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് നാം ലഹരിവിരുദ്ധ ദിനമായിട്ട് കൊണ്ടാടുന്നു. ഇത്തരമൊരു പതിവ് ആരംഭിച്ചത് എന്ന് മുതലാണെന്ന് കൂട്ടുകാർക്കറിയാമോ? അത് 1987 മുതലാണ്. ലഹരി ആസക്തിയും അവ മൂലമുണ്ടാകുന്ന ശാരീരികവും മാനസികവും സാമ്പത്തികവും സാമൂഹികവുമായ പ്രതിസന്ധികളെക്കുറിച്ച് ജനങ്ങളെ ബോധവൽക്കരിക്കുവാൻ വേണ്ടിയാണ് ഈ പതിവ് തുടങ്ങിയത്. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ശരാശരി ആളോഹരി മദ്യ ഉപയോഗത്തിൽ കേരളം അപകടകരമാം വിധം മുന്നിലാണ്. ഇതുമൂലം മദ്യാസക്തിയോടൊപ്പം പാൻ മസാലകളും മയക്കുമരുന്നുകളുടെയും ഉപയോഗം വളരെ വർദ്ധിക്കുകയാണ്. മാതാപിതാക്കന്മാരുടെ ലഹരി ആസക്തി മൂലം ദുരിതത്തിലാകുന്നത് അവരുടെ കുട്ടികളും ജീവിത പങ്കാളികളുമാണ്. ആത്മഹത്യകള്, വിഷാദരോഗം, കുടുംബശിഥിലീകരണം, സംഘട്ടനങ്ങൾ, കൊലപാതകങ്ങൾ ഇവയെല്ലാം കേരളത്തിന്റെ സാമൂഹിക ജീവിതത്തിലെ നിത്യ കാഴ്ചകളായി മാറിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ഈ ലഹരി എന്ന വൻവിപത്ത് നമ്മുടെ വ്യക്തിജീവിതത്തിനും കുടുംബജീവിതത്തിനും വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ കാലഘട്ടത്തിനും സമൂഹത്തിനാകമാനം തന്നെ വൻ ദുരന്തമായി മാറിയിരിക്കുന്നു. ആയതിനാൽ നമുക്ക് നമ്മോട് തന്നെ ദൃഢപ്രതിജ്ഞയെടുക്കാം. എന്റെ ജീവിതത്തിനോ കുടുംബത്തിനോ പഠനത്തിനോ സമൂഹത്തിനോ ഹാനികരമായ ലഹരി പദാർത്ഥങ്ങൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുകയില്ല എന്നും എന്റെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെയും സമൂഹത്തെയും ഈ വിപത്തിൽ നിന്ന് സൂക്ഷിക്കുമെന്നും ഈ ദിവസം നാം ഒരുമിച്ച് ദൃഢപ്രതിജ്ഞ എടുക്കുന്നു.
Greetings, myself Ashish Abraham Aji of grade 5. Today I am here to share with you all the importance of this day and to link you with an event in history dating back to the 19th century. 26th June is celebrated as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking this year. It is observed as an expression of its determination to strengthen action and cooperation to achieve the goal of an international society free of drug abuse. Opium wars to armed conflicts in China in the mid-19th century between the forces of Western countries and of the Qing dynasty which ruled China from 1644 to 1911. The First Opium War, 1839 to 42, was fought between China and Britain, and the Second Opium War, 1856 to 60, also known as the Arrow War or the Anglo-French War in China, was fought by Britain and France against China. In each case, the foreign powers were victorious and gained commercial privileges and legal and territorial concessions in China. The conflicts marked the start of the era of unique treaties and other inroads on Qing sovereignty that helped weaken and ultimately topple the dynasty in favor of Republican China in the early 20th century. Opium wars arose from China's attempts to suppress the opium trade. Foreign traders had been illegally exporting opium mainly from India to China since the 18th century, but that trade grew dramatically from about 1820. The resulting widespread addiction in China was causing serious social and economic disruption there. In spring 1839, the Chinese government confiscated and destroyed more than 20,000 chests of opium, some 1,400 tons of the drug, that were warehoused at Canton by British merchants. The antagonism between the two sides increased in July when some drunken British sailors killed a Chinese villager. The British government, which is subject to be tried in Chinese legal system, refused to turn the accused men over to the Chinese courts. Hostilities broke out later that year when British warships destroyed a Chinese blockade of the Pearl River estuary at Hong Kong. The British government decided in early 1840s to send an expeditionary force to China, which arrived at Hong Kong in June. The British fleet proceeded up the Pearl River estuary to Canton and after months of negotiations there, attacked and occupied the city in May 1841. Subsequent British campaigns over the next year were likewise successful against the inferior Qing forces, despite a determined counterattack by Chinese troops in spring of 1842. The British held against that offensive, however, and captured Nanjing in late August, which put an end to the fighting.
Drugs are the enemies of ambition and hope, and when we fight against drugs, we are fighting for the future.
Say yes to life. Say no to drugs and alcohol.